1. Hey everyone, welcome back on Broad Street. I'm here with Bryce Ellig. My name's Jim Croger. This is the 15th episode of the Brothers of Broad Street podcast. A lot to talk about. The NBA Finals just finished last night. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. I know my man Bryce Ellig is not too happy about that. He wanted the Suns coming out of this. I actually expected the Suns to win as well. But Giannis balled out. So did the rest of the Milwaukee Bucks. Bryce, what do you got to say, brother?
This series, I didn't even know the last time finals. You can say like the 3-1 Warriors, when they blew up. But this series changed so quick. I think everybody a week and a half, 2 weeks ago was, Suns are going to sweep. Suns are going to win 5, whatever, this and that. And, you got to give credit where it's due, man. Giannis just dug deep. And, he was like, we need to just win now, get these gritty wins. And he did. And, winning 4 games in a row and in the NBA is hard enough. Winning 4 games in the finals is just unbelievable. I got to give props to Milwaukee, but the Suns had a great season. We'll see what happens with them. I'm disappointed how it ended. Devin Booker, I want to just go in and talk about last night. I'm just going to go right into it. Last night,
Go for it.
Last night, 100%. The Suns lost 1,000%. Yes, Giannis had 50, but you saw Drew Holiday played terrible. I think he had 2 or 3 air balls, which is just, that's horrible.
I wouldn't say terrible. He did have 4 steals on defense.
From the on the offensive end, the Bucks' second best player was probably Bobby Portis.
Yeah, Middleton didn't have a good game offensively either.
Yeah,
you're right. I wouldn't say they had terrible games though.
It was a really weird game. The first 8 minutes of the game was like horrible. It was so sloppy, turnovers. The Suns started out 1 of 10, and I think the Bucks started out 3 of 10. It was sloppy to say the least. I just think that when it came to the Bucks, my bad.
It's all good. The fans are trying to get in.
Big Rick wanted to say what's up. No, but when it came, it was just a sloppy game, and I felt like the Suns had the opportunity to take the game and go. And when it came to the player that I saw should have done that was Devin Booker. He did it all series long. He did it all season long. He was able to score against anybody. And last night he wasn't able to do it. And I could tell from the jump, it just was not his night. And you can only rely on the other guys so much. CP3 can get those points, but he's not a 30, 40 point scorer. He's not that type of guy. He's an assist guy. He needs a second guy to do the main majority of the scoring. And DeAndre Ayton got in foul trouble so early. He was off all night too. He was missing easy layups. And what really, knew he was done was he had a play, I'd say in the third quarter, had an open dunk and was so scared Giannis was going to come from behind and blocked it that he just passed it. It was similar to the Ben Simmons Atlanta Hawks thing. He was so scared to put the ball up to get blocked or miss it that he just passed it out. And to me, it's as mental as anything. If you don't think you can score, then you're done. And the fact that Frank Kaminsky was getting a good amount of time, he didn't play bad, but getting a lot of time, I just felt like the Suns were so off and they had a chance easily to come back into that game. The Bucks were even off, but yeah, Giannis did what Giannis does. He proved why he is the new king of the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo, like I said before, the guy, he's it. He's everything. And another quick thing, you got to give it to him. 17 from 19 for free throws. That's unbelievable. That's
Kevin Durant status. I'm not even joking. That 17 for 19. That's Kevin Durant percentage.
Yeah, no, he was. He won. That's why they won the game. I actually saw a bar Milwaukee did every time Giannis hits a free shot. That's an unreal. They had to cut that off real quick.
You would have a lot of trouble with people.
That'd be brutal.
No, yeah, I want to touch on a couple of the points that you made. It's a shame. The Suns, it was kind of not like a Cinderella story, but they got so close to making the playoffs in the bubble last year. They just couldn't get over the hump. They signed Chris Paul this year. They bring over Jay Crowder. They, Monty Williams steps up and they get to the finals and, they're up 2 games to 0 or 2 games to 0. And you're like, wow, the Suns got this on lock.
They had all the momentum too. They had all the momentum. The Bucks were dead.
Yeah, I know we were talking here on the podcast, wow, this is – personally, I did think the Bucks were going to get at least 2 games because they've been consistent and good all year. And especially with Giannis's knee injury. I mean, for that man to come back after a hyperextended knee, for as big as he is, for as much as he weighs, you imagine the wear and tear and how much that had to hurt running up and down the court on that. And he still, in the first game, I know this is considered a bad game for Giannis. He still dropped 20 and 19, 20 points, 19 rebounds, or 20 points, 18 rebounds, whatever he's had. And then from there, it was like 32, 36, 41, like
ridiculous,
30, 38, and then like 50. And Bryce, I'm the biggest LeBron fan. I know a lot of NBA fans, we get caught up in the moment. I know the year that Kawhi Leonard won with the Toronto Raptors, we were crowning him and saying that he was the best. That quickly changed the following season once LeBron won his title again. I know when Durant, this playoffs, was going off on great scoring streaks and having unbelievable games, many people were saying, all right, Kevin Durant is finally, number one. At times we put Steph Curry up there. I think when you look at it and what Giannis has accomplished between when he first came into the league as a rookie and now at the age of 26, two-time MVP, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, NBA Finals, and an NBA Finals MVP. Right now, I have to give it to Giannis. He's the best player in the league because
he's 26. He's 26 years old.
I mean, that's dominant. So dominant.
I don't know when LeBron got his first, but
LeBron was a little bit later.
Yeah, he's probably like 28, I want to say.
Well,
maybe even older.
No, LeBron. So LeBron came in at 18 years old. He played
2003, won 7 years
with the Cavs.
26. No, he won at the same age. 26, probably 27, maybe. Because he won in 2011, 2003, 8 years, 18. I'm just going to give him. I'm going to round it up. Probably he was probably closer to 27. I want to say LeBron was probably 27.
Yeah, he won in what? 2011. First one? No, 2012.
Oh, 2012. No, I thought it was 11. No, 2012. Yes, so he was probably 28.
Okay. But yeah, for Giannis to do what he's done up until this point, and he's still got so much more to go, and to do it with the Milwaukee Bucks team. Now, I know there's a lot of talk, the Milwaukee Bucks are not a super team. In the eyes of the NBA audience, a super team is
the Nets.
The Brooklyn Nets. James Harden, thank you. I was drawing a blank real quick, but James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, all three of those players are superstar like rank, and they're all playing on the same court at the same time. That's a super team. The Miami Heat, that was a super team. 3 superstars on a team. Boston Celtics, super team. With Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Pierce,
Rondo, super team.
That team was loaded.
Three guys that would be superstars, like the main scoring options on a team by themselves is a super team. When you have three of those guys.
With the Milwaukee Bucks, that whole front office, that whole organization, they did it the right way. Giannis, he did it the right way. He wanted to win a title before he left. I'm proud of him for doing that. And the organization, you have to give them a lot of credit. They did put the pieces around Giannis to make it fit him. You know what I'm saying? For a little bit in Philadelphia, for 2-3 years, we didn't put the right pieces around Embiid and Simmons. We had so many interchanging parts. Nothing was really working. We still don't have the right pieces around that team to excel.
I think another key point, to add on to your point, is the fact that people don't realize this. Chris Middleton and Giannis have been on Milwaukee for 8 years. Almost a decade of playing in Milwaukee, and they never at any point they kept improving. And especially the last 2 years when they've been all-stars, and Giannis has become, over the last 3-4 years, become that top 3 player in the league. When he lost 2 years ago, people were talking about where is Giannis going to go. He signs the extension. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. And then he loses last year, kind of in a way like I forget where they went out, but
they got swept by the Heat.
Yeah, I think in the second round, maybe it was ugly. All I remember
was the first round exit.
Yeah, it was ugly. All I could say is I remember everyone was like, "Where's Giannis to the Heat, Giannis to the Warriors," and all these rumors. And he said, "No, I'm staying in Milwaukee." And how I see it, a lot of guys in his position, I would say 90% of the NBA, and I think you can agree with me, would leave. They would get out. They'd be like, let me go join the Miami Heat. Let me go get a ring. But Giannis chose to dig deep. He thought he had a winning team, a great coach, and he did. And he proved everybody wrong. And you can't help but feel happy for the guy, especially the person he is. I mean, Giannis is just seeing where he came from, coming into the league at 18 years old, he weighed 180 pounds to putting on all that muscle,
He's
working
putting the
hard.
time. He's putting the time and effort. I do want to say one thing. I don't know if you noticed this after the game. I thought it was really special. Kevin Durant did this a couple years ago, but after they won the NBA Finals last night, Giannis, the first person he went to go see was his mother to, so they could celebrate and stuff like that. I thought that was really
No,
that,
yeah,
that made me feel good. It just shows what kind of person Giannis is. And even though I'm the biggest Sixers fan, I'll always root for Giannis because he's a good guy and a hell of a basketball
I mean,
player.
I just don't. You can't even hate Giannis. And I was even reading Suns fans. They're like, I'm so disappointed, but like we couldn't have lost to like a more respected opponent. I mean, Giannis he did it the right way. He's never disrespectful. He's not a trash talker. He's a family guy. He loves his family. I think another like big key piece too is like at the end of the game when they were interviewing him and he said, you and Chris Middleton dug deep. Like, what does Chris mean to you? And he just looked at Middleton and he was like, we did it. Like, he was like, everyone said we couldn't, but we did it. Like, we dug deep and we played better because of each other. And it's like, that was like a cool moment, like similar to what you said. Obviously not as cool with the mom moment, but it's cool. Like seeing, it's like Chris Middleton and Giannis, man. Like there was like, who would have thought a year ago? I didn't, that they would be holding up the NBA, trophy. And it's incredible.
I mean, we always knew they were a good team, but we never expected that they had enough superpower, star power, whatever you want to say, to get over that hump. And then they swept.
And even like
they beat Brooklyn. They took down the Hawks.
And they overcame. I mean, an injury. Dante DiVincenzo was a huge piece, a starting player for that team. They dug deep without him, and guys like Bobby Portis, Brian Forbes had some big games. Jeff Teague played well. That whole team played well, and they were able to win even without a start in the NBA. That's huge. Losing a guy in the middle of the playoffs is huge. I mean, Jim, remember when let's call it what it is. When we were watching the overtime game 7 against the Nets, when Kevin Durant hit that crazy shot to send it in the overtime, who would have thought they'd even make it out of that game? And they dug deep and they made the right moves. Got a guy like PJ Tucker, in, and I mean, he really helped the team out. It's just they made the right moves.
Good point. I loved PJ Tucker on the Rockets when the Rockets had Capella, Harden, Chris Paul, Tucker. That was a solid team. I love watching PJ Tucker play now. I actually wanted the Sixers to trade for him when the Bucks made the trade.
Instead, we got George Hill.
Instead, we got George Hill. Getting Tucker over here, his veteran presence, his defense, that was huge for the Milwaukee Bucks. One thing I want to, talk to you about a little bit, because that was a big talk on the conversations today, was Giannis did it the right way. He stuck with the organization, yada, yada, yada. You brought up before the show, you're like, LeBron left Cleveland to go join a Miami Heat super team. Not that I'm defending him at all, but at that time, and I'll use a different example after this too, but name me LeBron James's second best player on that team when he left Cleveland.
Zagauskas or whatever his name is. Big Z.
Not even when he left, not even at the time. I think he retired.
I think it was all I remember from that team, honestly, is Anderson Varejao.
It was like Varejao. It was like Mo Williams. It was like these.
I'll give a better example.
Real quick, I want to give an example. Right now, what's going on? Sorry to cut you off. I just gotta get this off. And
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Perfect example. I'm gonna roll real quick.
No. You're
what we're gonna see this offseason that I hope we reap the benefits from. Damian Lillard is an extremely tough position over there in Portland. He wants to stay with that organization. He wants to bring a championship to that city. Obviously, they drafted him. They've raised him basically as their own. But who's a better player, Chris Middleton or CJ McCollum?
Middleton.
By far.
That hurts for me to say because I love CJ McCollum, but Middleton is
I love CJ McCollum's a great player, but Middleton is a much better player than CJ McCollum.
Agreed.
Now take their third best player. Is it Nurkic? You want to say Nurkic?
Nurkic. They've got a bunch of guys that could go for a bunch of Robert Covington, Norman Powell.
They got a couple Yeah. But who's got a better overall team structure, player for player? Would you take the Bucks or would you take the Portland Trailblazers?
Bucks, not even close.
Exactly. And the Bucks are in the miserable East. There's only about 3 good teams in the East. In the West, there's the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Jazz, the Clippers, the Dallas Mavericks. You got a list of teams that can play. So when these players like Damian Lillard, who's going to request a trade soon, or Anthony Davis when he was with the Pelicans, or when LeBron left Cleveland. You got to give these guys kind of a pass because it's not necessarily all their fault when they don't have good team structure around them. Giannis has always had good team structure around him. That organization did a great job building around him.
No, especially because, I mean, at the end of the day, Milwaukee is not an ideal destination. People don't want to, when a free agent becomes a free agent and he gets a $200 million max deal from, Milwaukee or the New York Knicks or the Lakers, he's not signing with Milwaukee. He's not doing it. I mean, I'm looking at it as a me play. I mean, if you're a free agent, if I'm a free agent and I get an offer from Milwaukee, the Lakers, New York, I'm not going to Milwaukee. I'm definitely not going to Milwaukee.
So it's just like, I'm very proud of Giannis. I'm glad that he stuck with it. I think that we have something very similar with Embiid. I hope Embiid stays with the organization for as long and brings us a title. But guys,
I want to make a quick hot take, and I am sorry to cut you off, Jim. I know you're hot.
No, I like your hot takes. They're.
I don't think Giannis has reached his peak yet. I think there's still room for him to improve a little bit from the shooting. If he can, just start knocking down a little bit more consistently with the threes, I think Giannis, somehow, some way, I know this sounds crazy. I think he can actually improve. And he's proven every season. He improves every year. It's crazy. He improves every single year.
Yeah, well, I do too. I mean, you would hope that any player, would improve. Like we thought Simmons was going to improve. He has not improved. With Giannis, he has the type of work ethic and players and the organization around him. He's going to only get better. The only things that are really holes in this game, obviously, are the free throw shooting and 3-point line. Outside of that dude is unstoppable. So
he hit a 3-pointer last night. I think he hit 2 last night. He's not.
I know.
He's not. Yeah. People really give him a lot of crap. He's not as bad as a 3-point. It's just an ugly shot, but it's not as bad as he's not as. If he shoots 10, he might knock down realistically 2 or 3.
No, I'm not knocking him at all for anything.
No, I know. I'm just saying like,
for him to
shoot 100, he's going to knock down maybe 20.
I would have to agree with you. I don't think he's reached his peak yet. I think the areas that he could, get to his peak is by upgrading his shooting percentage at the 3-point line and obviously at the free throw. Way too early predictions. We got to get into it. Who do you think coming out of the East and coming out of the West? I want East first. Do you think the Milwaukee Bucks, the reigning champs, defend their title?
Oh man, it's tough because obviously, we don't know what's going to happen.
I know. Do you see Milwaukee getting back to the NBA Finals next year?
Yes, I do. I really do. I don't see. I mean, this team, they're going to get. I'm not a huge believer in the Nets. I don't know what it is with me. I love Kevin Durant, but you never know with Kyrie, James Harden. They're still so injury prone. They might not bring back. They might not have Blake Griffin. That's huge. He played really well in the playoffs. But yeah, I got to go with Milwaukee. As of now, they're going to stick with that same team. They might even add another solid bench player. I see everybody staying with them, even guys that are free agents, which I don't even know who is a free agent on that team, but I see them all staying. The only other team I really see, I mean, the Sixers, maybe if we can get Damian Lillard, but as of now, that doesn't look like it's going to happen from what he's saying. So I definitely got Milwaukee coming out. I don't think it's much of an argument. You could see, obviously, Miami could sign a huge name, Kawhi or something like that. But as of now, I got to roll with. I think it's the Bucks, no doubt. I think it's honestly who's fighting for second in that division as of now.
Okay. Now I want to ask you another question for the team that was playing the Bucks. What chances do you give the Phoenix Suns for returning to the NBA Finals next year?
This hurts for me to say, but I'm going to go with pretty low.
Me personally, I would give them about a 15% chance.
I was going to say maybe 20, 25 on a good day. I mean, we don't know where Chris Paul's going to go. He's got his best friend LeBron chirping in his ear, probably let's come to LA, let's make it happen. And I don't know. I don't know how much money they have. I know they still have a great all-around team. Even if they lose CP3, they're not going to be a bad team, but they're definitely not going to be a good team. You can't rely on a guy like, Cameron Payne has been a guy was huge for them off the bench. He was barely in the NBA for the last 5 years. He reminds me of kind of like a Bismack Biyombo for that one playoff series. He was an irrelevant player, and then he just blew up in one playoff series.
Got a huge payday and then fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and then fell off the face of the earth. I think there's a lot of players. Like I still think they have a great all-around team. Cam Johnson, they got good players. They just if they could keep CP3, I would give them like a 25% chance to make it back. But it's going to be tough. That division is really hard. And I also,
I know.
and I
Dude,
got a really sneaky team that I think is going to win the West. I don't think
Dallas?
it's no, they're not winning. No, Golden State.
Wow, you're banking on Clay coming back healthy, aren't you?
I'm banking on Clay. I think they're going to sign a big name guy. They're going to get rid of Wiggins because just please, I don't want
When you
to.
say big name, are you talking they're going to land Kawhi Leonard big? Are you talking?
I'm talking about superstar big. I think they're going to land like a superstar type player.
Who else is a free agent this year? You got Kawhi, you got Chris.
DeMar DeRozan's a free agent. Which I mean, if he signs with, I know he's not Kawhi superstar, but if he signs with Golden State, that team's going to be real.
It's better than Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins is horrible. I want to if Andrew Wiggins is watching, you're a very bad basketball player.
I mean, Rob Lee at Bellhaven's better than Andrew Wiggins.
No, yeah, I'm taking Pat Ruane from 3-point. Like like the Iguodala, Kellerman's like I'm taking Iguodala. I'm taking Ruane wide open shot over
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, Wiggins is terrible, but yeah, I see. At the end of the day, they still got Steph and Clay. I get Clay's coming off injuries, but Clay's game isn't going to the paint, slamming it down, whatever. His game is shooting, and it's not like he lost the shooting touch. He still knows how to shoot a basketball. That's also everyone wants to bust his balls. Everyone wants to say he's bad. At the end of the day, Draymond Green is like the heart and soul of an NBA team. He's hard on everybody. He's not a scorer, but he's great on defense. He is the heart and soul of that team. I think James Wiseman's due for a much better year. He showed a lot of promise last year. I think he's going to have a big year too. If he's on the team, you never know. They could pair him up to big trade. They still got Eric Pascal on the bench. They got that one guy with the tattoos. I don't know his name, but he comes off the bench. He was pretty good. The Warriors fans really like him. I don't know his name. I'm sorry.
Birdman?
No, he's got one of those like weird, like three, like I think there's like his last name's like three, like I don't even know what it's weird. He's pretty good off the bench. I could see him adding some nice little players. It all depends how they can get rid of Andrew Wiggins and if they can bring in a guy like DeRozan or Kawhi or something. I get DeRozan and Kawhi are much different. Like Kawhi is much better.
No, I know you're saying when you're talking. Yeah, you get bringing in a veteran leader, someone who's been around the league a while and is just an overall good player.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that team is, it's not hard to convince somebody to go play in Golden State with
Kerr, great player.
The era is not over. I think and I know it. They've got another run coming up. I just don't see them dying out and seeing. Listen, like Steph hasn't complained or said anything because he has faith that Clay's going to come back healthy. I mean, obviously Clay's a question mark, but the way his game is played, I'm confident he'll come back fine and he'll be able to just do his thing, still hit 3-pointers. Because think about it, he dropped 60-something points before in a game and he dribbled the ball 11 times. Like I mean, it's that's a legitimate stat. That's a real stat. Think about that. That's crazy.
Years ago, though, he's much older and he's coming off 2 catastrophic injuries. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that he'll come back better. Talking about, Golden State making a big move. Another organization that I think is going to make a big move this offseason.
The Lakers. Oh, the Lakers.
No, you're totally off. The Dallas Mavericks. Don't be surprised if they land a big name.
Well, no, they got to get rid. They got to get rid of. Sorry to interrupt you. They have to get rid of Porzingis.
They made a trade with the Knicks to get Porzingis. They thought Porzingis was going to be that second man to Luka. He showed it in the first year. He actually did not have a bad season at all. He did really well, but then he got hurt this year, and he really hasn't played up to the potential that they expected.
No, he's playing like a bench role player when he wants to be a superstar. And him and Luka don't fit at all. I get the move, and I think we all agreed it was the right move at the time, but it doesn't work. It's not getting any better, and those two are not winning a title together. So unless you want somehow to get Luka to stay, as of now, it looks like he doesn't want to stay. You got to get rid of Porzingis. Obviously, I don't think you can get a big, a big name player for Porzingis unless you're throwing in a couple picks and like a player like Brunson off the bench. But yeah, they got to make a move because I honestly could see if the Mavs don't have a great year, they finish 5th or 6th, 4th seed, they go out in the 1st or 2nd round in the playoffs, and Luka's, I could see him getting out of there. From what I hear, he's not really that thrilled with the way things are going over there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of tension over there. They just fired their coach. It seems like they're trying to make Luka happy. I feel like they have to sign somebody this year that gives Luka that comfortability, knowing like going into this season, all right, I got somebody alongside me. I just wouldn't take the Warriors' chances against the field because when you look around, the Lakers are going to come back healthy. You also have the Denver Nuggets who are going to come back healthy. I mean, they're returning Jamal Murray. He's a stud. And when him and the Joker play on the same floor together, they're awesome.
And also Michael Porter Jr., I think he's due for a real big year.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Bringing up him. They got a great coach. Denver's just been good. Utah's always. I don't think Utah will ever win an NBA Finals with the team that they got. But
Yeah, they're missing. It's like
always solid.
They need like a perfect. I mean, think if they can trade some players that are on big contracts, get rid of them and get a guy like DeRozan.
They're
Like,
solid. They're a solid team.
yeah, they're missing something. It's just something there is not right.
And we don't know what Kawhi's going to do, but just say if Kawhi did stay with the Clippers are obviously going to be good. There's a lot of teams out there in the West that I would take over the Warriors right now, just because I don't know about Klay's health, how they're going to gel.
I mean, I more said that. I mean, obviously, like, yes, I could take. Like, I mean, I'm here to take the hot. I'm here to make the hot takes. You know that, Jim. I'm here to say what people
No. That's the only reason why we're here.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
We need these piping hot takes.
Obviously, I can say like, yeah, I think Utah is going to run it back. Yeah, I know they're really good, but I think Golden State, who had a disappointing season because Klay didn't play. Like, why can't they be really good? Even if they don't get a superstar, I still think that team could be super good.
No, that's a good point. I'm just going off of your point.
Just get rid of Wiggins. Just get Wiggins off the team, just for the vibe, just for like purposes of just not having Andrew Wiggins on the team. I mean, there's not a bigger Andrew Wiggins hater out there than me. I'll be honest.
He definitely listens to this show. Bob Myers, if you're out there, our man Bryce Ellick, he wants Andrew Wiggins off the team. Get him off the team. Do what you have to do. Just get him off. Bryce, I got to ask you a quick question. We talked about this in the last episode. Chris Paul. Now, I forget your response. I have to look back on it. But they obviously didn't win the NBA Finals. They didn't accomplish their goal. But they had a phenomenal season. Chris Paul showed up. Now, looking at it with the season over, will Chris Paul be a Phoenix Sun next year?
I know this sounds crazy, but to me, it's down to two teams. He's either going back or he's going to the Lakers. And, he's always had those rumors of going to the Lakers, even 10, 15 years ago when that trade happened. And, I'd feel terrible because Kobe would have had probably 7 rings. But I got to go. I think he's going to stay. I really do. I know this sounds crazy, but I think that team had something special. I think that team knew they're really good. And I think Phoenix can do it again if they can bring CP3 back. Aiton's going to have an even better year. And I think, Devin Booker, I think he's going to work really hard this offseason. I think he's going to, step up. I think he knew that he was the reason why they, folded, in the finals. He played really poorly for how good of a player he is. Their bench players will step up if they're able to, keep some of those guys around. If they have a nice draft, maybe get another piece or maybe make a trade to get someone a little better off the bench. I think he's going to stay. I really, really do. I think he wants to run it back. I think he wants to win, like I said, without LeBron. I think he doesn't want to have to join a super team. I think he wants to win on his own.
Very good point. And I believe that if he won the NBA Finals this year, Chris Paul would have had a lot more leverage in his contract negotiations. Like he could opt out and then get the big deal with Phoenix.
He's getting a max, super max, no matter where he goes.
I don't think he will though with Phoenix. I think Phoenix will have to be a discount.
I know.
That GM does not like to sign.
I was going to say their GM is very. We talked about this in the last episode. On my research, their GM is known for being, pretty cheap.
And it's not like it's that big of a market. And when you look around, like we just talked about, the other teams in the West, how much does signing an aging veteran like Chris Paul to a max really help your team out when tons of other teams are going to be coming back fully healthy? You know what I mean? What chance does that really give them if they bring back Chris Paul? So why not let him go?
I agree, but I mean, at the same time, they still finished the regular season 51-21. They still were, they still played really, really, really well in a tough division. They won big games, and listen. People can, say what happened in the playoffs. Yes, they played teams that got injured. They made the finals because they were a really good team. At the end of the day, they made the finals because they're a really, really good team, and I truly believe the Suns still have so much potential. They have a great coach over there. I think people don't realize, but everyone loves playing for Monty Williams. I knew when he was a assistant coach with the Thunder and then with the Sixers, everyone loves playing for him. He's a great coach and a class act. I want to see him come back. I want to see him give it another shot. I don't want to see him go to the Lakers. I don't want to see that happen. I don't.
So that brings up my next question. There was a tweet out today that the Lakers are in the hunt for a veteran point guard. The two names that got brought up are Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. Now, if you're Rob Pelinka, who would you go after? Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook?
It's not even close. It's not even close to me. It's CP3. You know me. I'm not a Russ guy whatsoever. I think might be one of, if not the most overrated player in the league. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook, ever since Kevin Durant left, has had a really tough time winning games. Every team he's played for, they just don't really win. I get he ended up having a phenomenal season at the end of the year with the Wizards, but what happened? They still lost in 5 to the Sixers, and what proved to be not that great of a Sixers team as we saw. But I think he's always struggling. I think he's going to have a tough time, playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis being a third. I mean, he's the third option on the team if you think about it. Russell Westbrook is used to being the first, if not a really close second. I don't see that fitting really well. I think CP3 would complement that team perfectly. A guy that knows that he's only there to score maybe 10, 15 points a night, get the ball to LeBron, get the ball to Anthony Davis. I mean, everyone knows CP3's always had a really easy time getting the ball to the big man with Blake Griffin and Jordan, DeAndre Jordan and Ayton all these years. I mean, he's always been able to get the ball. I mean, he made David West look like a superstar for multiple years. I mean, the guy can get the ball and, he makes plays. We all know that. Russ is sloppy. I don't think it's going to be good for that team. I mean, obviously they'll still win and do that, but I think CP3 would be the perfect piece for that Lakers team.
Now, speaking of point guards, here's a hypothetical trade I have for you. Because I do think the Los Angeles Lakers are going to make a big move this year, whether it's through trading a player or through the free agent market. But if you were the Los Angeles Lakers, would you trade Anthony Davis for Damian Lillard?
Yes, I would do it. I mean, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
The reason why is Damian Lillard, as of what I know, I don't think he's had any really significant injuries, especially over the last 3 to 4 years. At the end of the day, Anthony Davis can't stay healthy.
Dude, I saw a statistic the other day. Anthony Davis missed more games this season, mind you, in a shortened season. He's missed more games this season than Damian Lillard has in his entire career.
Yeah, I mean that's literally like the exact point I just made.
I'm saying that.
Yeah. It's like funny. It's funny. I didn't even see that, but like you just perfectly were able to pull that up. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, even when Anthony Davis was healthy, which I don't know how actually fully 100% healthy he was this season, he had a really bad season, probably his worst season since his rookie season, which obviously rookie season to your 9th, 8th year is significant to have that bad of a season. I think Damian Lillard and LeBron could be really dangerous.
Lethal.
Yeah, I think Damian Lillard is the most clutch player in the NBA.
Dude, Dame's awesome. I love watching Dame play, and I hope Daryl Morey does whatever he has to do. Back up the money trucks, dude, and give him the entire city of Philadelphia.
I got this hypothetical trade. I saw somebody, I'm not taking credit for it. I saw it on Twitter. This is the trade. I know this is a little off topic, but the Sixers, Trailblazers, obviously. We trade Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, Maxey, 2021 first round pick and 2023 first round pick for Damian Lillard, and not just Damian Lillard, Norman Powell. That would be the perfect trade for the Sixers. You get Norman Powell off the bench, an absolute stud off the bench, a guy that can drop.
He had a down year. He did have a down year this year.
He had a down year, but he's a stud. I'm telling you. I've been saying it. He's like one of my guys. Like I'm telling you, people don't watch him enough. He's a stud. He drops 20 points. He was a huge piece of that Raptors run. Obviously, you get a guy like Damian Lillard. You either enough is enough with this Tyreke Maxey stuff. It's driving me insane. Everyone's like, no, we got to keep Maxey. Philly fans, Philly fans, we need to relax. Like, I get he's 19. I get he has potential. If you can get Damian Lillard, you trade everything. And in this trade, you're able to keep a guy like Thibault, which in most trades, realistically, we didn't think we were able to keep Thibault and Maxey. And I'm picking Thibault over Maxey all day. I'm sorry, but Maxey to me, I mean, I know you always like Bryce, you're a Maxey hater. I'm not. It's just I don't realistically see him becoming a superstar in the NBA. I don't see him really becoming anything better than like a Jalen Brunson, a solid role player on a team. He's not anything super special. We saw the way he played. Yes, he can score a little bit here and there, but he doesn't have like that X factor. He does from what I see so far. He looks like he's going to be solid, but man, if you can get a guy like Damian Lillard plus Norman Powell off the bench, that is scary, Jim. That's the trade. That is the trade I would make. I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, that's you get a solid bench player. Which
I'm a little leery on the trade just for one reason. Do you think Norman Powell's better than Seth Curry right now?
Yes.
I have to disagree with you there. I think Seth Curry is a better player than Norman
You
Powell.
haven't watched him enough. I'm telling you.
You're going off of the championship year that he had when he averaged 19-9.
I've been watching him forever. I just think he's a great player. I just think he's a phenomenal player.
He wouldn't be off the bench. He'd have to start with us because we would just trade. We just traded 3 of our players.
That's fine. Put him. I would start him. I'm confident in that.
I'm all for getting rid of Ben Simmons and whatever picks. I am a little bit nervous about Seth Curry and Tyrese Maxey. You do risk, you mortgage your future.
No. Okay, I agree. But at the end of the day, Jim, it's the opposite of the process now. We need to push everything, get rid of everything to get a player. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? What's the point of?
No, I'm all for getting whatever it takes for Damian Lillard. Just a little bit nervous about the Seth Curry and Maxey in the deal because.
Would you give up Maxey? Would be willing to give up Maxey to get Damian Lillard?
Yes.
Okay, God, you're on cloud. You're not on on crazy.
But it's just like don't give up tons of players for one player. And listen, if we do, Damian Lillard's a stud. I love Damian Lillard. Him and Embiid, watching those guys play would be unreal. But Bryce, do you truly feel in your heart a Damian Lillard and Joel Embiid would beat a Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, or would beat a Milwaukee Bucks team that just came off a stellar postseason? They're only going to get better, that Bucks team.
I agree.
And the Hawks team, I know you disagreed. You didn't like. I didn't really think much of the Hawks either. They're going to get better. Who am I missing right now? You can't count out the Heat because they have the money to sign a big player. So does Damian Lillard? I know he's a player that could bring a championship to the city of Philadelphia, but does he guarantee a championship for the city of Philadelphia?
Yes.
I would. You feel in your heart?
I think Joel Embiid and Damian Lillard could be the scariest duo in the whole entire NBA, that the whole entire NBA seen in the last 5-10 years. I think that duo could be unstoppable.
Now, do you think Damian Lillard is all right? Listen, if it guarantees a championship, I'm all for it. I want to see Damian Lillard in Philadelphia. Do you think Damian Lillard's better than James Harden?
Yes.
Okay. Because we were in a similar position last year where the Rockets asked for these types of players in the deal, and we turned it down. And I thought back then that James Harden and Joel Embiid would have been an awesome duo. Imagine those guys in the pick and roll.
They would have been awesome. And I'm a big Damian Lillard guy. I mean, not just for the fact that we all see what Dame can do, but the fact that the biggest thing for the Sixers, and what I keep telling you, is when they're down by 3 or 4 points with a minute left and they need those clutch buckets, Damian Lillard is the perfect guy to have. He's the absolute perfect guy to have on the team. I mean, he's hit clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. I mean, it's Dame time. I mean, how many times it's like rare to see the guy miss a clutch shot. And I just think, man, teaming them up together would be really scary. Plus, if Tobias has another solid year and you're able to grab somebody off, the bench and keep Dwight, I mean, the Sixers could be so scary. I mean, it's all in now. And you agreed with me before. Joel's only got 2-3 solid years of being the best center in the NBA. The way he's 280 pounds, the way he plays, he's been injured a lot. He's not going to last much longer. We need to push to get the title, maybe even 2. I think if you get Dame, you could win 2 titles. I don't think that's crazy.
Well, it will definitely be tough. You got to look around the league, and the West will get stronger. And even if you do come out of the East,
listen, Jim, if you can't get Dame, you got to go get Bradley Beal.
The Sixers, in my opinion, will get somebody this offseason. Both those names I would be happy with. I would not like to see them settle for like a guy like CJ McCollum or a DeMar DeRozan, like one of those second tier. You got to go out. You got to get a top tier guy. It's now or never.
We've settled for second tier for the last 3 years, and it's the reason why we're not winning the trophy.
Yeah. I want to switch gears a little bit. Something that we really haven't done. but I want to start putting this into the show a little bit more. We were talking Damian Lillard. We were talking LeBron. Have you gotten a chance to watch Space Jam 2 yet?
No, I'm not watching it.
Did you watch Space Jam 1?
Yeah, it's
Was it
terrible.
good?
It's horrible.
Because all these guys are arguing back and forth on these talk shows about which one was better, Space Jam 1 or Space
I
Jam
mean, I'm being honest. I heard Space Jam 2 is like horrible, like one of the worst movies ever made. Like, I'm not saying
No,
that off.
yeah. It's interesting because they just had huge box office selling, made tons of money in the opening weekend, like north of $30 million.
I saw a thing, and I mean, I've watched Space Jam 2 probably maybe, I mean, Space Jam 1 probably like once, maybe twice in my life. And from what I remember, Michael Jordan was not a horrible actor. I mean, no, he wasn't great, but he wasn't horrible. I heard LeBron is absolutely terrible, which I'm not firing a shot at him. I mean, he's not an actor. It's just not.
I just think it's funny because they're taking now Space Jam 1 versus Space Jam 2 and making it also another Jordan versus LeBron debate. But a couple of the players are in Space Jam 2. You got the Brow, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson. I think I'm going to, in my free time, definitely check it out and see.
I refuse to watch it because ever since LeBron James made the I got to get ready for the Goon Squad comments, I just haven't. I refuse to watch it. I'm not going to watch it.
That leads into my next question, though. Talking sports movies. What are your top 5 sports movies of all time? If you can't think off the top of your head, give me top 3. I want top 3 sports movies of all time. Your personal list.
Wow, that's just off guard, folks. He just hits me with this bomb.
No, I want like instinct. I want what you feel like.
Miracle's unbelievable.
I knew you were gonna feel Miracle is good. Solid.
I'm a hockey guy. Everybody knows that, but Miracle, even if you don't love hockey, I mean, the best story of all time, best upset ever. I want to say, like, I know this sounds crazy. I want to say Sandlot, unbelievable movie. Like, for like the comedy part, obviously it's not a serious movie, but it's a great. It is the baseball movie. You know that's the baseball.
You think Sandlot?
Yeah, and my number 3. I think this list is actually unbelievable. Is Remember the Titans. I mean, what movie doesn't? I mean, Remember the Titans just fires you up, man.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, they're at the field. They're like the Gettysburg Field or wherever, and he's like, a bunch of soldiers died here. Like, what are you gonna do? And just like that,
you get the chills.
You just want to run through a wall.
Or in the game, and he's screaming, "They don't get another yard." And it's like, yo, I'm fired up. I can play right now.
Left side, strong side, or whatever they say. Unreal. Great movie.
That's a great movie. Remember the Titans is definitely in my top 5. Now, would you consider this a sports movie? Some people are like, now boxing's obviously a sport. Rocky.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Rocky's definitely.
So if you could package in all of the Rocky movies, I would put that in my top 5. So like, not.
Well, I think the best Rocky is Rocky 4.
That was the next question. What do you think? What do you think the best Rocky movie is in the series?
The best Rocky is definitely number 4 when he beats the Russian.
Dude,
the worst one's the third one when he beats Mr. T. That movie's terrible.
The third one was bad, and Rocky 5 with Tommy Gunn was awful. The street fight.
I never watched that. I actually never watched that one because everyone told me it's terrible. So I just skipped to the last one, and the last one's good. The last one's really good.
Do yourself a favor and save yourself the 3 hours to never watch Rocky.
No. You know what's funny? You weren't the first person that told me that. Someone told me never to watch it, so I just never did, and I'm glad I never did.
Dude, Rocky 4 is awesome with Drago going out to Russia training after Apollo died. That was great.
Great. Apollo dies. I mean, that's just the storyline's unreal. I mean, we beat Russia.
Dude, that movie was awesome. Rocky 2 is solid. And the original
Rocky 2 is the second best, and the original Rocky's the third, which is crazy because the original Rocky's unbelievable, but the other two are just Rocky 4 is like in a whole nother league. I mean, that might be the best sports movie of all time. If you're talking sports, I think that I don't know, man. I think Miracle might be the best sports movie of all time. I know
there's so many. No, it popped up when we were like talking on the podcast, talking.
Now, yeah, everyone loves so Sandlot. Everyone loves Sandlot, but you can't make it the number 1 just because it's not like a true story and not serious.
You can make an argument that it's the number 1 baseball movie. You could probably make an argument that there's a lot of good baseball movies though too. Field of Dreams.
Yeah, I've never seen a lot of I haven't seen a lot of baseball movies, I'll be honest. Seen 8 Man Out. That wasn't bad, but it's definitely not like a top one.
But Remember the Titans is awesome.
People forget that, like somehow, some way. Like people don't think of that movie when you think sports, but Remember the Titans. I mean, you talk about a movie that just fires you up. Like you just need to get fired up. Like, oh
Remember
my,
the Titans is a movie you can watch over and over again and never get tired of it.
yeah. I mean, like it's like a Blind Side's a great one.
Michael Orr,
Yeah,
great movie.
true story. Even though like supposedly it's like not true whatsoever, I'm just gonna pretend it is. Um,
Where'd you hear that? Oh, they're saying it's not true.
Michael Orr was like, this movie's not accurate whatsoever, but like we're all gonna pretend like it's just spot on, like all that stuff happened.
The Blind Side's great. Let me look some up, bro. Dude, there's so
When
many.
he protects his little brother in the she's like, how what he should have died with the impact of the airbag, and she's like, what happened to your hand? He's like, I stopped it. You talk about just a heartfelt moment. I mean, he stopped an airbag.
Rudy. Rudy's a great football movie.
Yeah, Rudy's unbelievable. That's enough.
Awesome.
Yeah, Rudy's got to be there. Rudy's definitely in my top 5. I've only ever seen it one. I've only ever seen it one time, but it's absolutely.
Have you ever seen Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino?
No, I heard that's great. I was actually going to say, I was just going to bring up.
They have a great motivational speech at the end of that.
Friday Night Lights with Boobie Miles. When I like, you know why I love that movie? They lose at the end, and I obviously like. They lose at the end. I like that.
Because they're making the comeback and you're like, wow, they're going to do it. They're going to, capture the moment, and then they lose at the goal line. That's a great movie. Y'all want to win, put Booby in.
Yeah. Sorry for spoiler alerts if you've never seen that movie, but I like movies like that where like, I mean, obviously you watch movie after movie after movie, and they're all great and they always win at the end. That was a movie that changed up. All 3 of them, I don't care, all amazing, especially being a hockey guy. The Mighty Ducks. I mean, they're all good, man.
Dude, there's so many good ones, and we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah, I got to put the Mighty Ducks. The second one, I got to put in like not top 5, but that's in my top 10 for sure. The second Mighty Ducks is unbelievable.
Did you ever see Mark Wahlberg in Invincible?
Did you just say what? I'm a diehard Eagles fan. How do you ask me that?
I might, you know what? My bad.
That really offended me.
I should have just asked you if the sky was blue. That's the kind of question I just asked you.
That might be the most, and out of 15 episodes, that might have been the most offensive question you've asked me. That's a great one. That's a phenomenal one, especially being an Eagles fan. I'm a little biased, but I don't think that even compares to like.
I'm just saying, yeah, that's a great movie.
I went so long. I didn't see Miracle, I think, until this year, actually, like 2021. I never saw it, which I know that sounds crazy because
on Netflix now, right?
Yeah, that's the reason why I saw it. And I remember being like, yeah, it's long and it's probably really good. Every second of that movie is so good. Just the way Herb Brooks is like just an ultimate hardo, and like he didn't even like celebrate after they won. He was just everything about that movie, and it's just a real story to able to beat when he's like they could beat us 9 out of 10 times, but not tonight. Oh my god, you want to talk about running through a wall? I mean, that's
another dude. We could just rally off another great movie, Chadwick Boseman in 42.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in theaters with my dad and my neighbor. Unreal, great movie.
I mean, there's just a list.
Maybe one day we'll all wear 42. Shout out Pee Wee Reese. Shout out that guy.
Legend. Oh no, dude, that movie was awesome. I don't know if you ever seen it. One of my favorite baseball movies, because I know Sandlot, obviously up there. Field of Dreams. Have you ever seen The Natural? The Natural is a good movie.
I heard that one's great. I've never seen that. Yeah. I've seen Bull Durham. That was funny.
Yeah, that The Natural is a good one. When you get a chance, watch that. Very good story. I want to see Any Given Sunday.
I want to watch Friday Night Lights. I need to watch that one again.
Do you ever see Coach Carter?
Oh my god, I can't believe that's a top 5. That's in my 5 for sure.
I've never seen Coach Carter before.
Oh my god!
I just said that on the air, but I've never seen Coach Carter.
Oh my god, I can't spoil it for you either, obviously, but like that's another phenomenal ending, which and it's another great ending. Like you don't see it coming, but it's a great ending. And man, I mean Samuel L. Jackson, you can't go wrong with him. True story.
Great actor.
Yeah, it's it's worth the watch. That movie's entertaining. It's a long movie too, but it's entertaining from like the start to the finish. You don't get that a lot of times in movies. You got to build it up and. Stuff like that. But man, that movie's unbelievable. I can't believe you haven't seen that yet.
Did you ever see Matt McConaughey in We Are Marshall? Did you see that one?
I actually saw that. I actually saw that movie like 3 months ago. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I mean that's a terrible story about what happened, but that's another phenomenal movie. Man, sports movies. That's why they're the best. Sports movies are the best,
dude. It literally just like when we were talking, and then like Giannis brought up at the post-game conference the other day that he was watching Space Jam, and we were talking Dame and LeBron, like movies.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put Space Jam 1 in my top 25 sports movies of all time.
How about your top 100?
It might, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Nah, there's a list. I want to see Any Given Sunday. Did you ever see Robert De Niro in Raging Bull?
no, I heard he's unbelievable in that.
That's a great movie. That won a ton of awards. Dude, we could talk about this forever.
Boxing movies are really, really good.
Wow.
You can't ever go wrong with a boxing movie. I mean, man, dude, there are some
Creed.
man.
Creed, you got to put Creed up there now. Creed's awesome.
Creed's good. Yeah, Creed's really good.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I mean there is some really good. I can't believe you haven't seen Coach Carter will be in your top 5 for sure. It will not fall.
Moneyball.
Oh no, I forgot. Yeah, and Moneyball is number 1. Moneyball is my favorite. I take everything back what I said with Miracle. Miracle's number 2. Moneyball is my favorite sports movie of all time.
I just want to throw this out there real quick. I love Moneyball. I've probably seen it
I've seen it 10 times, and
times.
it's every single time. I'm like hoping they win the World Series every single time.
Brad Pitt's awesome in it. Jonah Hill's even better. I want to give this out. I want to send this out for you guys. Last week I was in California. I saw Jonah Hill across the street. I'm yelling his name, trying to get a picture. I said, yo, can I get a picture? He goes, nah, I got to go, buddy. Let me tell you something. I'm never watching a Jonah Hill movie ever again. I've spent hours of my life, probably days, maybe even weeks of my life watching his movies from Superbad to Wolf of Wall Street to Moneyball, and he completely rejected me. So
I'll give a better story. I mean, not nearly on the same level, but I was at the Bears game one time because my dad's buddy's brother used to play on the team, and he told me, I said, who's the biggest, who's the meanest guy on the team, because I was like 10 at the time, so it wasn't like douche or anything like that. And he said, Jay Cutler, he won't even say hi to you. And I was in the family section, so like all Bears family, like family members, and I went up to Jay Cutler and I said, hey Jay, like, nice to meet you, can I get a picture? And he walked by me in the family section. Like I was family of a teammate, and he walked by me. Like I was like, hey, Mr. Cutler, nice to meet you, can I get a picture? And he actually walked by me. He pretended I didn't existed. So Jay Cutler, if you're listening to this, you're a dick. You're a douche.
But that's the total opposite of your boy Marky Sanchez. He gave you.
No, he was the man. He was the man. He gave me time of day. Devin Hester was really. I've met a lot of cool athletes. Rob Gronkowski. I've been very fortunate. Darrelle Revis, all really cool guys.
Oh man, if I was ever at that status of athletes, movie stars, how could you?
Yo, that's brutal. That is terrible, man.
How could you not take the 30 seconds, not even 15 seconds, to get a picture with somebody who's watched you your whole life? You know what I mean?
I saw AC when I was in AC before COVID. I saw Patrick Ewing because I'm not blind, and he's pretty easy to spot out.
Yeah.
And I went up to him, and it was the only time where like I didn't get rudely denied. He was respectfully. I went up to him and I said, he was walking away, and everyone was like, who is that? And I'm like, it's Patrick Ewing, because just no one looks like him. And I said, hey, Mr. Ewing, I'm a big fan. Can I get a picture? And he said, I would love to. I can't right now because I'm with my grandkid, which I didn't see him because Patrick Ewing is 350 pounds and 7'6", but he gave me a knuckle touch, and he was really cool. Like that's cool. That's what I mean. Like if you're
that's
cool,
understandable. Yeah.
Yeah. He was with his family. He was like, I would love to, but I'm with my family. And I was like, I get it. And he acknowledged me. Jay Cutler walked by me. He saw me and walked by me. He put his sunglasses on and put his headphones on and walked by me. I would never root for that guy whatsoever.
Yeah, just like another thing, like what we saw yesterday, just going off of Giannis and just how good of a person this guy is outside of the court. Did you see that video with the little girl? She gave him like a nice little envelope, like a letter or picture and the jersey. He got around the table and gave the girl a hug. Like she's gonna remember that for the rest of her life. Me of Jonah Hill, every single time I see him, I remember him how he just completely rejected me.
I mean, at the end of the day, these guys, I think they have a tough time realizing, because they've been famous since they were 15, 16 years old, that like 1 second of your time makes somebody's day.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Giannis made that girl's not day, life. Like she's going to remember that forever.
Like Rob Gronkowski, I met him when I was like 13. There was a huge crowd around him. He took a picture with me, and he's exactly what I was like 12, 13 years old, and he talked about getting drunk in front of me. He was just authentic. He was really cool. Danny, I've met a lot of Patriots. I just ran into them one time, and they were all really nice. Darrelle Revis, the best cornerback of our generation. Deion Sanders, he couldn't have been a nicer guy. Like you think about that and you say that forever. Like I will always say until I'm 6 feet under that Jay Cutler is the worst human being of all time. Like the worst human being ever. Who just does? I was in the family section. It wasn't even like I was a random person. Like I was somebody on the team's family member, and he ignored me. Like is that not a wild move? Like that is a wild move.
Oh man, no,
Yeah, what's that? Who just ignores a human being? Like I'm like 12 years old. I just want to say hi. You're like a starting quarterback, and you suck anyway. Like no one wants to get a picture with you. I think that's why Mark Sanchez loved me so much. Literally, no one wanted to get a picture with him but me.
It's funny, those encounters. I remember when I was younger, that's all you want. Like you're reaching over the bullpen at Citizens Bank. You're trying to get some autographs just from anybody. Like they could be a no name, but you just want those autographs. You just want that interaction with the player because it makes your day.
I've just been fortunate. People come up to me all the time, and like my buddies at school were like, I show them pictures and like, how have you met all these famous people? And like, I genuinely could say I've been in the right place at the right time. Like
timing's everything.
It's just a huge key advice. I always tell people this: just go up to them and talk to them like they're completely normal.
They're normal guys.
I saw Paul Reed on the beach the other day for the 4th of July, and I wasn't nervous to talk to him at all. Like you just talk to them like they're completely normal people. Wish them good luck on the season. Make a joke, and they'll love it. I saw Corey Clement. I served him shrimp at my restaurant that I worked at, and I told him that he caught the ball in the Super Bowl, and he was like, "My man!" And him and his boys got all hyped up. Like it was a funny moment, and like. Awesome. I mean, I don't think he would acknowledge me I don't think he would remember me, but like, I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like you just have cool moments with them and they appreciate, because at the end of the day, man, like they're normal people.
Yeah. No, they're people just like us. And that's why, yeah.
Honestly, I'm devastated to hear the Jonah Hill. That's not near. I mean, the Jay Cutler thing's bad, but that's Jonah Hill just saying.
I know I've spent days watching his movies in total. Like, like Superbad, I've probably seen Superbad 10 times. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think he might make a public apology.
You can't. Oh, he's
gonna hear this.
I'm surprised just off the first glance that he didn't recognize who I was from the show. Because I mean, obviously we're a top podcast around the world.
Oh yeah, we're huge.
But I'm just like, you got to be kidding me! Like I've seen Superbad at least 10 times. You can't give me one picture. Yeah, it was funny. I'll remember that. I remember about that now.
I got one more story. I was in Miami a couple months ago, and it was like right in the center part of Miami, like just like crazy part. And I was walking home. It was like 3 or 4 a.m. with a couple buddies, and all I see is like this TMZ reporter sprinting down, like his camera on his phone, and I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Floyd Mayweather's about to come through," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" 6 armored trucks come down the street. And I'll never forget it. He's in an all-white suit, of course, because it's Floyd Mayweather. And he's sprinting down the street, like running, like training. And he's got 400-pound guys chasing after him, which was just funny in general. And I screamed, "Money team." And he turned around and he was like, he acknowledged me. Floyd Mayweather acknowledged me.
That's all that matters. No,
2 seconds. And now I'm just a huge fan of him. It took him 2 seconds.
That's Floyd, it. That's all you need. That's all you need to do when you're a celebrity, a sports athlete.
Right, just think about it. All Jonah had to do was get up for 2 seconds, take a picture with you, and it would have been over. The picture didn't even have to be good. And all he had to say was, "Listen, man, appreciate you being a fan all these years." And that was it. That's it. But man, that's devastating. That is that. I hate to hear that for you.
No, I mean, we talk a lot. I'm probably gonna end up watching Superbad again or Moneyball, or
it won't be the
same. But that was always be in the back of my head. Anyway, Bryce, great episode tonight. That's it for the 15th episode of the Brothers of Broad Street podcast. These are starting to add up. Get on the train now, guys. If you haven't yet, subscribe. We're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. You can find us anywhere on social media. You can follow Bryce Ellick at his account, mine as well, or also follow the Brothers of Broad Street account on Instagram. And yeah, we'll be back here on Sunday doing another episode. Thank you guys for listening tonight. Have a good one.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.